We study billionaires, and this is episode 71 of the Investors Podcast.
Broadcasting from Bel Air, Maryland, this is the Investors Podcast. They'll read the books and summarize the lessons. They'll test the waters and tell you when it's cold. They'll give you actionable investing strategies. Your host, Preston Pish and Stig Broderson.
Hey, how's everybody doing out there? This is Preston Pish, and I'm your host for the Investors Podcast. And as usual, I'm accompanied by my co-host, Stig Broderson, out in Denmark. We've just got kind of a hodgepodge of stuff to talk about today. And we're going to lead off with a little bit of current market conditions. We're going to be talking about what's going on in the markets because it's just continuing to get more and more interesting by the day. And then what we're going to do is we're going to transition and we're going to answer 5 different questions for members of our audience that have been recording their questions at AskTheInvestors.com. And then after that, we have a book summary that we're going to be doing really quickly because we really don't have that much to talk about with this book, and that is the Benjamin Franklin book by Walter Isaacson on American life. So we'll be covering that at the very end, and it's not going to be very long, but we will still cover that and send out our executive summary of the book that we read. So real fast, I just wanted to briefly talk about the current market conditions. Now, we recorded this episode about 2 weeks ago from the time that you're listening to this. Right now, as I'm looking at my watch, it's the 18th of January, 2016. So when you listen to this, it's probably going to be the end of the month, and some of this information might have a little bit of a lag to it. So I think that sometimes that's good because we're not able to talk about the play-by-play, the minute-by-minute, and really talk more about bigger ideas and kind of bigger trends that we're seeing and concerns or highlights. So the one thing that I wanted to talk about, and right before we started recording, I shot Stig this chart, and I said, I really want to talk about this when we start recording this episode. And Stig totally agreed. He thinks that it's a very good chart and something that we can really talk about here. So I found this chart that is titled Global Stock Market Cap. And so what this is it's the market cap of the entire equities market for the entire world. So you added up the U.S. stock market, you added up the Chinese stock market, you add up the Japanese, Europe, everywhere around the globe, and you add up all the prices for all the different stocks, and you combine those into one single solitary chart. And you can see this massive credit cycle and that we've been talking about, and I know when you watch the Ray Dalio video, it's all about the credit cycle and the expansion of money and then the contraction of money. We're going to have this chart on the show notes so people can see what I'm referencing. So if you're listening